It is PBC pay-per-view on Prime Video. In our main event, we have Manny Pacquiao, the 8th Division World Champion, returning to collide against the WBC welterweight champion of the world, Mario El Azteca Barrios. Also, our co-main event, what a matchup this is going to be. A highly anticipated rematch from one of 2024's best fights indeed. It will feature the Towering Inferno, Sebastian Fundora, the reigning WBC super welterweight champion of the world, putting his title on the line against Australian superstar and the former world champion, Tim Tszyu. The action begins at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific time. It is PBC pay-per-view on Prime Video, and we have two other all-action classes featuring Mexican star Isaac Pitbull Cruz battling the hard-hitting Angel Fierro in a rematch of their action-packed showdown. Also in the pay-per-view opener, it'll feature Brandon the Heartbreaker Figueroa colliding against top contender Joet Gonzalez. And this event is brought to you by TGB Promotions in association with MP Promotions, Samson Boxing, Lone Limit Boxing, the Rose Brothers, and Mayweather Promotions. And ladies and gentlemen, pre-sale tickets are on sale this upcoming Tuesday, June 3rd, from 10 a.m. Pacific time until 10 p.m. Pacific time through AXS.com. So the pre-sale on sale Tuesday, June 3rd, this upcoming Tuesday, 10 a.m. Pacific time until 10 p.m. Pacific time. Use the code PBC. Again, use the code PBC. Public on sale for the general public is scheduled for this Wednesday, June 4th at 10 a.m. Pacific time through AXS.com. It is sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Ladies and gentlemen, now I want to introduce both the co-main event combatants, the WBC Super Welterweight Champion of the world. He is one of the sport's most exciting fighters on the planet. Please give a round of applause to Sebastian, the Towering Inferno Fundora. And Australian superstar, former world champion, the contender, Tim Tszyu. All right, gentlemen, Sebastian squaring off once again against Tim Tszyu. Your thoughts as you get ready for another massive matchup on July 19th.
We have another great fight. You know, this is going to be round 13 with Tim Tszyu. It was a great fight last time, and I'm excited to show the world again another great fight.
Tim, is this going to be round 13, as Sebastian says, or is it going to be round 1 of the second fight?
It really depends. But first of all, I'd like to thank, first of all, Sebastian Fundora for honoring his rematch. You know, he could have gone down the different option, but he'd honored it. He let go of a belt. So it'd be great to be fighting for the WBC belt. And yeah, it could be round 13. I'm hoping it's not because it didn't go my way. But I'm hoping it's round 1 in a whole different type of fight, which swings my way.
Now, fighting here in Las Vegas again, you obviously had a fantastic victory in your last outing, but you know that was in your native of Australia. But being back here in Las Vegas, how much did you miss the limelight, the glitz and glamour? There's something special about here, Las Vegas.
Yeah, I think it's the lights. I think it's the lights. I think it definitely brings something that Australia doesn't have. Australia's one hell of a vibe. I've had one hell of a time fighting in Australia in front of my people. But yeah, I think America's where it's at. I think just seeing all this type of all the journos here and everyone that supports these events, it's one hell of a show, you know. And to be doing it on a Pacquiao card, Pacquiao versus Barrios at the MGM Grand, this is something that you dream as a young kid, you know. And yeah, I'm taking this opportunity with both hands, and I can't wait.
Sebastian, for you, you've been on a run, and you have been just tearing through competition. How good have you felt in recent memory, especially coming off of that win over Tim Tszyu?
I feel good. You know, that fight was last year. Now we're in another year. I'm growing. I'm 27 now. I'm a full champion as well. So these things are just adding on. You know, watching my sister win her undisputed title last year as well too. So, you know, we're just growing. We're growing and growing and growing, and that's what we plan on doing this year and the years to come.
From an experience standpoint, Sebastian, when you deal with the lights and the press and everything, you've gotten a lot of big events under your belt. Does it become easier when it comes to balancing your time, making sure when you get your rest, when you're in the gym, handling all the media obligations, but also being able to enjoy it to a degree?
Definitely. I remember in the beginning, and not even on fighting on pay-per-view cards or anything, the interviews would kind of make me nervous, But now we're getting more comfortable to it. We're getting more used to this because it's our job, I'm happy. I'm very grateful, to share a ring with him as well, with Pacquiao, all these guys. I'm there at that level, and I'm proving it every single time.
Tim, you were a world champion, but, it's one thing that it's like in you to, go in and be in these big fights and have championship gold around your waist. How much do you miss that belt?
I think it's not just the belt, but just the opposition and the type of fights that you're in, and when you fight someone like this guy, it's never easy, So I'm looking forward to bring those type of fights, and with those type of fights brings accolades such as world titles and stuff like that, and being the very, very top of the division. And that's my main purpose is right now is to get to the very, very top of the super welterweight division, and right now Fundora is the #1 man.
You guys are both prize fighters, and Sebastian, I'll start with you. Manny Pacquiao is the great Manny Pacquiao, 8-division world champion, taking on Mario Barrios. Welterweight has always been one of the glamour divisions in the sport. But how much do you want to steal the show with Tim Tszyu?
I think this fight, with no doubt, will steal the show no matter what. The first fight was a fight of the year. I'm going to say it, that was fight of the decade. You never see that much blood in boxing, and that's what people want to see, besides the knockout. But, that's entertaining, that's boxing. And I think this fight around will do the same thing.
Tim, same question. How much do you want to steal the show once again with Sebastian Fundora?
Yeah, recently the fights that I've come across, they've been boring, and I think this card is definitely not boring from the very start with Pitbull to the very end with Pacquiao and Barrios, and in the middle with me and Fundora. This is gonna be the card. This is gonna be probably the fight. We got people to compete with in terms of fight of the night, but it's gonna be one hell of a show, and I'm very grateful and very honored to be on this platform.
Yeah, all 4 fights on this pay-per-view card are just absolutely loaded. I mean, when you look at it from the first fight on pay-per-view on, so you guys, I'm sure when you're warming up, when you guys are warming up, do you pay attention to what's happening before you guys walk out and everything else? Because you got the screens going on, and are you paying attention to what's happening in the fights before?
I watch the fights before. It's good to pay attention. Maybe you learn something right there on the job, but my life is boxing, so I'm going to pay attention to those things.
Tim, what about you? Do you pay attention to the fights before? The reason why I ask is you're going to have Angel Fierro and, Isaac Cruz going at it. You're going to have Brandon Figueroa, Joet Gonzalez. All those, both fights, they're going to go toe-to-toe with each other.
Yeah, sometimes you wish you're in the crowd and watching the fights from a spectator's point of view in this one. But I'll try and not watch it actually. I'm going to be prepping for my own, where I got to be mentally focused there. But yeah, it's going to be hard to not watch Pitbull and Fierro. I remember watching the first one. That was one hell of a show.
Well, Tim can't be in the crowd, but the fans can be. And you know how you do that? All you have to do, we're giving you the pre-sale Tuesday, June 3rd, 10 a.m. Pacific time, 12 hours, 10 a.m. Pacific time to 10 p.m. Pacific time, AXS.com. Use the code PBC. If somehow you missed that, well, tickets will go on sale to the general public on Wednesday, June 4th at 10 a.m. through AXS.com. Sebastian, what are you hoping to demonstrate against Tim Tszyu in your rematch?
Another world-class win. I'm a world champion. I planned on being world champion for a while now, so that's what I'm going to do, Towering Inferno.
Tim, what are you hoping to prove to Sebastian Fundora? Will it be repeat for him, or is it going to be redemption for you?
My main objective, of course, is to win in dominant fashion, of course, but to bring the fight the fans want. Like as a young kid, you dream of watching crazy fights, and you remember things like Castillo Corrales. You remember Pacquiao Morales. You remember these types of fights, and that's what I intend to do is to bring something that the fans, you know, they will remember in 10 years, 15 years, where kids will be replaying a certain fight. So I think this is the fight. This is the night, being on such a big platform to put it on.
All right, well, I want to thank both Sebastian Fundora and Tim Tszyu. You guys are going to pose for photos. So a round of applause to the champion, Sebastian Fundora, the former world champion contender, Tim Tszyu from Australia. Thank you to both men, and we wish them all the best in their matchup on Saturday, July 19th from MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas.